Hello and welcome to yet another gameplay video of ELA. This time we'll be showing off the gameplay whitebox that will begin the game. This is very much a work in progress. There's nothing settled in form of artwork or writing. It's here as an idea of how the game would work. Here we are in the first zone. This zone is the introduction. You'd start off and you'd be told, hello, your friend is calling you to climb up this stack. You then are given multiple options of how to do it. On the one case, you can attempt to climb up this area, platform your way up, and once you'd finished platforming, you would gain a skill in agility, such as this. You feel that your agility is increased. As we showed previously, our UI for the skills is now fully functional, and what we'll do to prove this is to go off to do this other section over here. So, this case, we have our interactables where we can use this. If we take the key for the lift, let's take the key. We didn't stick it into our UI for now, but that's fine. We can now enable it, so we'll enable our lift to go up. Once we had gone up, so this is proving that we were able, this is more of a traditional approach where we would then go around, like in point-and-click adventure games, finding items, working out how they go into various areas. That's where the ingenuity aspect of gameplay comes from. And finally, we increase our ingenuity. Now, your friend is still waiting for you, but if you really want to and you want to go and increase all your skills, you can in fact go and see these. So for now, this is just a, again, white box, but we can talk to this group. They're blocking the path. Let's be charismatic to them. They're impressed by your charisma. Woo! And they step aside. However, we have now taken too long to get past this. Also, this is not roads again, so it's fine. But we've now taken too long to get past him, and now our friend is looking hurt. They're staring off into the distance because we've missed it, and we say sorry. A cutscene would now play and show. Basically, we talk about the tower that we now live on, because that's the whole point about the game. It's about the tower. Once we're done here, we'll then be taken over to a new zone. This zone is now the. This is meant to be a factory or something. It may not stay where it is. It may change. The plot elements behind it are a bit odd, but in short, we are currently on the run. You and your friend are here, and you must choose how to get past it. On the one hand, you can attempt to use your agility to get past these falling spikes. Or you can attempt to use your ingenuity to get past this door. Or you can turn back and attempt to talk to the people who are coming behind you. So, in this case, what we'll do is we will do the agility, which will allow both ourselves and our friends to get past. We're now moved over here, which we couldn't have done without agility. This case is where our agility stat is used in a more in a dialogue sense. Anyway, now finally, we shall now escape. So, our choices that we have made have led to this situation, where while you and your friend have not had the best of relationships, you have used your agility to enter the throne room. This is because our agility is the highest stat, but we didn't have our good relationship in the friend in the first room. So this is where the end of the set would work, and there'd be certain teleportations here that would then move into it. Finally, we're thrown from the tower. That leads us into the main part of the game. Right. What we shall do now is we shall boot up the level again. Here we are back in the level again. Now this time let's do a different option. So in this case, let's take the ingenuity path again. In fact, no. What we shall do is let's take the agility path, because we shall become agile for our next demonstration. Okay. So our agility is now increased, and we can now go on. Because we have not spent time messing around, our friend is now grinning, waiting to show us. A cutscene will play revealing the reflection of the tower of clouds in distance. Again, not final, but it could be a good idea. At this point, we'll basically get told about the tower, what happened to it, before we then moved over to here again. Now we're here. Now, before, we had one stat in the agility. As we can now see, we've got one stat again, but we had one stat in the agility, which allowed us to pass through this fine. If we don't have one stat, and this is where the main part of the game comes from, if we don't have the stats required, things will go wrong. So in this case, we're going to attempt to open this door without ingenuity. So we find a control panel we can open the door with. Let's open the door. Our friend cries out as they are trapped behind you. it is worth pointing out that this is what's considered a failure. ELA treats failures differently to how other games treat them. In this situation, we failed, but we still gained a point in ingenuity. Our friend got trapped behind us, but we learn from our mistakes. So, our friend's now been trapped behind us, and now we can then go onto here. Finally, the final room then changes once again. This time our friend has not appeared, and the text here has now changed. In this case, I believe our friend is actually going to be down here at the bottom. So there you are. The game changes based on what choices you make. Let us try, yes, another one. Okay. This time we're going to try a different method. So this time we shall look at our interaction. So we now we're going to take this key and go up the elevator this time. So once again, we've now solved the ingenuity, and we gain the ingenuity stat, as you can see here. Now, let's talk to our friend. He's grinning, he wants to show us. We say yes, we show it to us. And then we shall go back, and this time we shall attempt to talk to our way out. We're going to try it, and we're going to betray our friend. We're going to give ourselves up and show how, once again, this thing can change. So our friend has now escaped, and they've captured us. And at this point, we have discovered a bug where we should actually be moved down to the bottom of the chamber. Interesting. This is why you test things before. But anyway, for now, the idea is there in concept. This is the end of this first video. We shall now go off and show the next step. Okay, so this next step is basically showing off kind of what I'm doing in this level. So, beginning with, let's have a look at the level itself. This, rather than having separate levels for each stuff, we now have about a kilometre worth of space where we're just going to build vista boxes. The gameplay will be contained within those boxes, but various different outside elements that the player can look at and experience can still be expanded on. Both these levels are pretty big in scale. It's just, all three of these ones are pretty big in scale. They're just so far away from each other. And that's basically this type of level. To talk about how it all works, we are once again using the dialogue system to power most of this. Can we bring this up? Most of these are being run through the on-dialogue events. So we have our data table, which we had in the past, and we use certain triggers throughout the level to say when we're going to move areas, such as when we want to move to Zone 2, we bring up our macros. So in this case, we set our last checkpoint. This checkpoint is also the same thing that is used to reset the player when they fall off a level. So if we move them around the level and then they fall off again, they won't move back to an early part of the level. For the most part, actually, that's about it, really. We haven't really changed stuff. It's mainly entering these things, making these dialogues, and writing the sheerly huge number of these dialogues. And this is the dialogue system as it is currently. There are 48 of these choices. About 8 of them are fail-safes, in which the player should not be able to do. So these conditions are things like if the player has nothing, if the player basically has no skills, and they somehow get to the end of the level, I have no idea how they've done that, but I give them a social influence point just because they might be able to. If they manage to do that if they do somehow have got this without me, through all these without me having any checks, they get this text box, which I will probably change to ask people to send bug reports, because they should not be able to get that one ever. However, some of these are interesting. So in this case, we start, and firstly we check: did the player escape, or was the player captured? So this would move the player to either one of the spawn locations, where we change it based on this macro here. So first, basically, we check: did they escape? If they did, then we set it to 1. If they didn't, we set it to the other. This hasn't quite worked, so this needs to be changed. Then we check: did the friend escape, or was the friend captured? So in our in the other video, we showed off that you can give yourself up to be captured and your friend will escape. Well, that will change how things work. However, some options, as they are at the moment, can't allow for this, so a lot of these options are redundant, but I've made them and they're here because that will then allow the player to, if I then change things as I develop the game, this stuff is already in place, ready for me to start writing extra things to it. So if I want to add this, I just bring off, add a new speech node, and then we just drag it down to where we want to go. For now, they all come to here, which is just a central gathering point that automatically takes us to the ending section. And that's about it for this video update, really. So hopefully these video updates will be coming more regularly. But right now, I'm signing off. Good luck, and hope you enjoy.